As the world watches the possible impact and whether there will be a continued impact on crude prices of the latest bout of conflict in the Middle East, the question is that the only factor? We did see a very quick reaction of crude on Monday when markets opened for the first time after the Hamas attack into Israeli territory and the counter. There was a sharp drop in crude, sharp rise in crude prices, which have since then pared back. But what really is the outlook? To speak on this, I have a voice that everyone sits up and listens to when it comes to all things crude. Mr. Fereidun Fesharaki is with me today. He's the chairman of FGE. Mr. Fesharaki, thank you so much for speaking with us on Beacon Prime. It's a pleasure to have you on the show. Let me begin with your assessment of the situation as it stands vis-a-vis crude and where this war is going on. It seems like since the last 2 or 3 days that the initial knee-jerk reaction has receded. Is that the end of the story as far as concerns over impact on crude supplies goes?
Let's start from a week ago when the price of oil was $95 a barrel. It dropped to 85. There was no particular reason for it to fall except fear of recession, fear of financial problems, fear of Federal Reserve raising interest rates. But the fundamentals of the oil market was exactly the same. It was only a $10 drop. When suddenly, because of the fears over the ramifications of the Israeli-Hamas conflict, the price was $5, and now, as you said, we trend back a little bit, they are about $87. The question at the end is that we have to be clear. Is there going to be some impact on the source of supply of crude? I can never the answer is no. Unless the conflict escalates into a battle with Iran, involvement of Saudi Arabia, where there would be impact on oil supply, where less are sentiments, which can go up and down, but then subside. So the bottom line is that what do the fundamentals really tell us? The fundamentals tell us the price of oil should be $5 to $90. And when the sentiments need up and down, but they need to end up within that range because that's where the fundamentals point.
So would it be safe to say, or would it be correct to say that $100 a barrel is not a very strong possibility right now? Or are we in that danger territory?
No, I don't think we are in that danger territory. We end up with the escalation, of course. With still the Israelis bound the Iranian oil fields. Yes, of course, it go $150. Machine. With some other global event which would impact the supply or escalate things, again, the fear can take it up. But based on the fundamentals, the $100 is too high. The demand is very strong this year. The supply is managed by OPEC. But the number of $100 would be hard to imagine without some massive external impact.
Let me turn to factors apart from what is happening in Israel right now and the Israel-Hamas war, because that is an uncertain. We don't know where it will go, whether it will escalate or not, whether more countries will get involved. But there is another important meeting taking place on Wednesday that everyone's watching, which is between Russia and Saudi Arabia. Everyone's also watching how OPEC Plus will respond. What is your take over there? What would you be looking out for?
Well, OPEC Plus already has committed to cut until the end of the year. So they would, of course, change course if they see some dramatic change. At the moment, I see no reason for them to change course at all. I think they'll come and say, things are okay, we'll carefully watch it, but to leave things as they are.
We saw a significant increase in Iran's output of oil as a direct impact of the Ukraine-Russia conflict. And we know that there was a sort of tacit understanding from the United States to allow Iran to increase its oil exports. Do you see that supply being hit at any point?
Well, that's a really good question. The US has chosen to turn a blind eye to Iran. And in fact, there are topics when Venezuela to increase production. Why? Because in the United States, the auditors, they punished the sitting president if the price of gasoline is high. It doesn't matter if it's sport. If it was Russia's style to Saudi Arabia's fault, they still blame the US president. So the president tries to shift the price of gasoline below $4 a gallon as much as it can. And because of that, they turn a blind eye to everything, including their own sanctions. Until the elections are over. After the elections are over, we will become a lot more serious about imposing sanctions. So at this point in time, the question of whether, because of potential Iran involvement, that the US will try to impose the sanctions against Iran or include what they have seriously, the answer is probably no. They're not going to do anything.
I want to get sort of view from you on the Indian context. India has been emerging as an important voice. At least that's what we say sitting here. But I'd like to know your view in terms of a large and important consumer. And that sort of got established when India did turn to Russian supplies after the crisis of the Ukraine-Russia war. How do you see that picture shaping up? And do you think that India's efforts to mitigate our dependence on oil are strong enough at this point?
I don't think India is trying to mitigate the impact of oil on the energy use. The government has plans to increase the role of gas forever, but nothing ever happens. Nothing changes because of the fundamentals of the impact of the gas prices on electricity. Electricity means rents, and rents use the changing of the potential government power. So there is a lot of promise, but actually little serious move towards natural gas, which everybody has been waiting for. In terms of the reduction of the coal use, India is still major coal user. In terms of increasing the renewables, yes, as fast as possible, but without sacrificing growth. So actually, the scheme of things, I think Indian policies were reasonable and logical, which was not emotional as it is in Europe. It was not going to sacrifice economic growth to make a few political points. Now, what the price of oil in India needs to be, well, Minister has already said, and that $80 a barrel oil is totally tolerable. And $85, I'm sure, would also be okay. So I don't think this impacts Indian demand growth. But keep kind of in context, Indian demand growth this year is about 1/7 of the demand growth in China. So China still is the number one growth area in the world for a few more years. But the Chinese demand will peak by 2027. India demand will not peak until 2040. So India becomes more and more important as time goes by, but it is going to be a very slow trend.
What is your sort of level at crude that you're looking at right now, all things considered, Mr. Fesharaki?
$85 to $90, that's what the fundamentals say. To the end of the year. Next year, I expect the prices to be lower. Because the demand growth this year is 2.5 million barrels per day worldwide. Next year, this demand growth will be only 1.4, because crude recovery mostly has been achieved. As a result of it, OPEC will face big problems next year of cutting more production to try to sustain prices at $85, $90. So I think that the prices next year maybe end up in the 70s, 75 to 85, 70 to 80. But the big jump in the price of oil to $100 or higher will not happen without some massive external shock.
All right. That's a good note to end on. And hopefully there will be no more of those shocks coming our way. Thank you so much, Mr. Fesharaki, for speaking with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.